Now, it's not very often I'll sit down and make a full-blown video on something actually happening within the WWE at the moment. If you're new to the channel or not aware, I mostly make WWE 2K video game content. As everyone's made a video on this, and we've got the press conference coming up in a matter of hours, less than 12 hours by the time this video is published, we've got some stuff to talk about. So I'm sure all of you are aware that Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, pointed at Roman Reigns, only for The Rock to return on SmackDown and Cody Rhodes look really, really silly. And this last week has been the longest week for me as a wrestling fan, because we're waiting, I feel like I've spent a lot of time on Twitter in the last week just waiting for something positive to come out, and it's looking positive so far. I honestly think at this point we are going to get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns versus The Rock, probably a triple threat, or you can do the double duty for Roman, or you can even announce Roman versus The Rock 1 year in advance for WrestleMania 41. There's a lot of ways they can go about it on the press conference later today. But in all seriousness, I do think the triple threat is the best decision to keep everyone happy. We've heard reports of The Rock wanting to save WrestleMania. I don't understand that. And obviously it sounds like they have locked him in. I mean, Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble was locking him in as well as facing Roman, but I guess that doesn't matter. So again, being locked in doesn't mean anything. But everything we've heard at this point is The Rock will be in the main event of WrestleMania. So, you can have Roman pull double duty, but I seriously think a triple threat is probably the best decision for everyone here. Because you have The Rock wanting to save WrestleMania, you also have these reports that The Rock doesn't want to lose this match. Think of it, triple threat. It gives everybody a time to shine, okay? And if The Rock really can't go as good as he could 11 years ago, 12 years ago since his last match, 11 years ago, and I mean, he injured himself not long into that match, triple threat's the way to go. He can take breaks. We can get our one-on-one Cody Roman. We can get our one-on-one Rock Roman. We can even get one-on-one Cody Rock, which I think the crowd will really, really love. How I would end that match is as simple as Cody is, the Rock's down and out. Cody's about to finish the story. Solo tries to stop. Rock hits a rock bottom on Solo, whatever. And then you just have The Rock, let Cody finish the match. The Rock looks like a hero. He doesn't have to get pinned. Cody Rhodes wins. The fans are happy. The Rock's happy because he didn't lose and he got to be in the match. TKO's happy because The Rock was in the match. Everybody wins with this scenario. And even the people that we as the fans don't care about. We don't really care how much money TKO make because they put The Rock in a match. I think it's safe to say the majority of the fans do want Cody Rhodes in this match. I mean, merch sales should be a big indicator, and as of yesterday or today still, Cody Rhodes had 5 of the top 10 selling shirts. He had the top 3, and Rock was only just in 10th place. That should be a huge indicator, despite them advertising The Rock shirts available everywhere. You go to WWE.com, it's there. It's the first thing that you get when you go to WWEshop.com, and he was only just in 10th place. So that's how I would do it at this point. Just to keep everyone, that's the most realistic outcome I see happening. The outcome I want is announce Rock and Roman a year in advance. That is the outcome I want. And have Cody Rhodes go on to challenge Roman Reigns. What do you do with Seth Rollins in that scenario? Easy. Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, triple threat as well. That's perfectly fine. Sami could win, Drew could win, and Priest can cash in after. There's so much there. They're going to have a hard time trying to make it mean something again, but look, I'm sorry. Cody needs to finish the story. It's so plain obvious. We've been building to it for a whole year. 2 whole years, but since SoFi last year, since WrestleMania 39, we've been building and building and building. Let's not throw it all away now because The Rock is free. And then we can talk about the whole, was Cody supposed to win the Royal Rumble controversy? It is absolutely possible that they had multiple shirts made in case of an injury and they had to call an audible. I would not be surprised if that's a thing whatsoever. This literally happens in sports because they don't know who's going to win. Yes, it's predetermined, but again, anything can happen, okay? Cody won the Rumble. Was he supposed to? I think he was. And I do seriously believe that the Rock stuff was kept under wraps. So Can you imagine if everything went their way and if, say, Punk didn't get injured and he was clearly primed for a match with Seth Rollins and everything went their way except for that last second when The Rock decides he's on the board now and he's going to face Roman? Can you imagine what would they do if Punk never got injured? Cody's won the Rumble. He can't just go and challenge Seth. It's poor planning and it's poor, if everything we're hearing is true, it's poor on the creative team, it's unfair on Cody Rhodes, it's unfair on the fans, it's unfair on everyone. What are you going to do, a Cody, Seth, Punk triple threat? Like, no, absolutely not. Like, anyway, that's something to think about. Sort of the last thing I want to go on is anybody who wants to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I don't blame you. We've all wanted this match for forever. I wanted to see this match last year, and that was one of the reasons why I was always, for the longest time, I've said I will go to WrestleMania 40, ever since I was a kid. I pulled the trigger a year early because I wanted to see this, the last huge dream match in the WWE, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and what we got was probably better. And, The Rock wasn't available, whatever it was, and part of me was a little disappointed, but once we started building, I was like, yeah, I like this more. Roman Reigns could lose the belt. I'm going to get to witness it live. That's awesome. He lost last year. And, The Rock, for whatever reason, didn't turn up after. There was nothing. Move forward. That show, by the way, the huge stars that it featured, John Cena it wasn't a marquee match. Brock Lesnar, not a marquee match. Edge, it could be a marquee match, but I wouldn't say it drew. Like people loved Edge, I love Edge. I wouldn't say that match drew people into the building and drew people to the show. Remember those names, okay? And remember that they weren't marquee or they weren't a draw into the WrestleMania. Now let's move through to this year's WrestleMania. As of 2.5 months ago, CM Punk was never, ever coming back to the WWE, as it has been for the last nearly 10 years at that point. Brock Lesnar was featured in a silly match last year, again, not a marquee match. This year would have probably been featured in a match with Gunther, so yes, I will agree that is a big loss to the card. But again, last year, he could not have possibly been a huge draw because he was in a match with Omos. Sorry, Omos, but it wasn't a match to look forward to. And same with Cena. Cena's probably not on the card this year, but he wasn't in a huge marquee match. Fast forward to this time around. Tickets went on sale for WrestleMania 40 in August of 2023. And I would say that people bought tickets to this show, have been invested in the idea of getting the biggest wrestling rematch of all time with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And all we're missing, again, you can cancel out CM Punk because as of 2.5 months ago, he was not on the card because he was never, ever coming back to a WWE. The Rock now, supposedly, allegedly, says we need to save WrestleMania because CM Punk and Brock Lesnar are out. I just don't agree with this in any way. Again, we can cancel Punk out, okay? Because in August, before tickets went on sale, look how good WrestleMania 39 did. It was the best WrestleMania for business-wise that they'd ever had, and it did not feature, okay, a single part-time athlete that was in a marquee or drew a lot of people into the building or to watch the product. Lesnar, Cena, and Edge all did not do anything major for that show. Major. When I say major, I mean major, like something like The Rock coming back would do. None of those on the level of The Rock, okay? And look how that show did. Same thing this year. They were, we were naturally going to go bigger and better this year. It's WrestleMania 40. It's in Philly. We're going to have the biggest wrestling rematch of all time. Oh no, we lost Punk, who was never on the card, and we lost Brock and Gunther. That does not warrant, okay? Cancel Punk out. I love Punk, and he's my childhood hero, and I'm devastated I'm not going to see him wrestle, but we have to cancel him out now and pretend he was never back to make this, to make sense of this. You're telling me that Brock versus Gunther warrants being off the card, who, by the way, Gunther will now have another marquee match with Bron Breakker, who is the future of the business. You're telling me that that match right there, okay, Brock and Gunther being off the card, warrants Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson coming in, pushing away Cody Rhodes out of the main event. If you want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock, I can understand that. We all want to see it, just not now. But if you just want to see it and maybe you're not a fan of Cody Rhodes, I get that. If your argument is, oh, but it'll make more money or this or that, look at the facts, okay? Yes, it will make more money. One, why do you care? Two, it was going to be the most successful WrestleMania of all time anyway, with or without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There was no need to save WrestleMania. If all of that is true, if everything we've been heard of is true, I'm going to end off the video there. Again, if you want to see Roman versus The Rock, that is totally okay, but I really encourage you to look at the bigger picture here. I'll be honest, again, I wanted to see it last year. I flew all the way to Los Angeles last year in the hopes of seeing it, okay? And it didn't happen. And this year is just the worst timing. It is the worst timing. And look, I've already started looking at flights to go to Vegas next year if they do Roman and Rock. Okay? And I am going to Philly. I urge, do not do it in Philadelphia. That crowd will hate it, and it's just terrible timing. Thank you all very, very much for watching. I'm sorry if I rambled on. Again, the press conference is, a bit under 12 hours probably by the time this video comes out. Again, sorry if I sound dumb in this recording, or the quality's not as good. My microphone's still got lots of issues and it's out for repair, so I'm using my phone. How awesome. Anyway, thank you all very, very much. I do love you all, and hashtag we want Cody.